Alright, welcome back to part 8 of the Neopets the Darkest Faerie any percent speedrun tutorial. If this is the first of these videos that you're catching, please make sure that you drop this video and go check out part 1, otherwise the stuff you're going to see here isn't really going to make all that much sense. So in the previous video, we started off Act 3 and made our way immediately to Meridel Castle, which skipped pretty much the majority of Act 3, and now that we're inside Meridel Castle, we're going to start doing some interesting stuff to deal with the boss in this area. So, because of kind of the complex nature of all the moving parts here, I thought it was worth putting in its own separate video, as opposed to lumping all of Act 3 into one unit. Now, as we're going into this next segment, I highly recommend that you make a save here, because it'll be a really nice way to practice some of the ledge flies that we'll be doing here. So, as you exit the hall, into the hall, take a right, and then we're going to be taking a left here. Now, if you're playing on vanilla without the practice hack, you can make a safety save right here, or just a practice save right here on this platform right here. But what you want to do is actually come out of that hallway, take the second of these stairs on the left, so this back one right here, and then you're going to climb up here to this set of stairs right here. Stop right here before this pillar with the banner. Now, you can make a if you got the hack pack, making a save up on this platform is a pretty good bet. So what you want to do is we're going to be doing a ledge fly into this wall. So the goal is that we do a ledge fly at a downward angle into this wall, such that we hit the floor kind of like inside the wall. And I'll explain once we perform this why that's important. So when you're doing your first run, I recommend safety saving here, because if you get a straight angle ledge fly, it will crash the game here. So if you're doing like your first run, I recommend safety saving here, so that your run doesn't die. But what you want to do is face the wall and then jump and grab the ledge. So when you grab the ledge from this side, it actually puts you a fair bit of distance away from this side of the railing. And you don't want to be too close. You really want to not be on the close side of this railing, because if you are, it'll give you that straight angle, which crashes the game. So what you want to do is kind of in front of this banner that you see, you can see the bottom corners of it. Just jump up and grab the rail. Line yourself up so that Tor is directly parallel to this wall, and then perform a ledge fly. If you did it right, you'll see that the camera flips here, and you're kind of looking up at Tor. And if you rotate the camera, you'll see that he's kind of stuck inside here, still in the wall, but on the steps of the stair. What you want to do from here is hold forward and jump, and you'll jump up to the y=0 plane. So once you've jumped up here, what you want to do is run towards this big structure right here, hold down L2, and you'll fall right inside. So now what this is this is the room where you normally fight the 3 Faerie sisters for the end of Act 3. But by doing that ledge fly, we can actually get up and over through the roof and into this fight early. And as you can see, their AI isn't active yet. They're still here, but their AI isn't active. So what you're going to do here is hit L1 and R1 in order to swap to Roberta, and then you're going to fire one shot at the closest sister here, just like that. And you'll know that it worked because you'll kind of see the particle disappear and the health bar come on. Now once you've done this, make sure that you have your supernova mote equipped, but don't use a potion of power, okay? And then for Vanity right here, this one on the left, you're going to just repeatedly do jump slashes until she's pretty much down. And then once her health bar stops responding, take one extra swing. They won't die, okay, when they're in this state. But what we're doing here is putting them at basically like the minimum amount of health possible. Because at this point in the game, we're really under-equipped in terms of armor, gear, and sword. So this is a much easier way of dealing with this boss. Now what you want to do for these two is step behind them and do a series of 3-hit combo attacks, and you can shield cancel them to make them a little bit faster. And when you do the second hit, make sure you kind of delay your second swing a little bit. So sometimes if you're too fast, you'll miss. So delay it a little bit and you'll hit. Like that. And And then you can also shield cancel on the third strike. And then one more hit should put them into that range. Now, they're basically all at 1 HP, and they won't stand much of a chance to us now. So before we go into the next area, I suggest equipping your Potion of Power, but don't use it yet. And then equip your Water Mote to your sword, and then menu over to your Supernova Mote. So what we have to do in order to actually activate the boss fight and beat the act is we have to defeat the mob fight in the previous room. And the first set of enemies are going to be weak to water. So we're going to equip the Water Mote so that we'll deal extra damage, and equip the Supernova Mote so that we can deal extra damage to the big shadow brutes that spawn in after. If you have a Sun Mote, just by chance, if you get it from like the pink crystal in the mines, for example, use that instead of the Supernova Mote. Or use that instead of the regular light mode, which I'll explain once we get to that portion. But you want to have the Water Mote equipped, and then hover over the Supernova Mote so that when you're ready to quick swap to the next mode, you're good to go, okay? Now this next part is a little bit tricky. What we're going to do is what's called a Displacement Angle Ledge Fly. We're going to be doing a ledge fly off of this ottoman right here in order to get through this wall with this window in order to get back out of bounds, because our way back into that mob fight is currently shut behind the door. So the way that I set this up is I approach the ottoman and kind of hold forward so that Tor auto jumps over it. And then once he sort of starts to clear it, I can let go of holding forward. If you let go of forward too early, he won't hop on top of it. So you kind of want to just be here like this. Now when you're doing this very specific ledge fly, you want to make sure you're holding down L2, okay? Now the way that the displacement angle ledge fly works is that when you hit circle, what you're going to do is instead of holding backwards, you're going to hold forwards until the flash of light. And then once you see the flash of light, you're going to hold back and to the right, okay? So it's going to look something like this. Like that, okay? And so when you do that, it actually changes the way that Tor rotates ever so slightly before he executes the ledge fly. And that causes him to go in an upward and to the right angle, which will put you right to the y=0 plane. So let me show you that one more time. So hop up onto the ottoman, pivot myself, and generally speaking, you want Tor to be kind of parallel with the way that this ottoman's facing. Get yourself a little bit closer if you want, but it's generally pretty lenient. Equip the cloak, hold down L2, circle forward, down right X, okay? And that should put you up and through here. And so, if you're really having trouble with that, you can do you can technically do a regular ledge fly, I believe, but it can be like right there, you tend to hit the chair, and it can be really annoying. You need a very specific position on this ottoman in order to, one, not hit the chair, and two, not fall off the ottoman when you're attempting this. So that's why I prefer, and why I teach people the displacement angle ledge fly, even though it's a bit trickier to execute, mechanically speaking. Alright, so I'll show you one more time. Readjust, circle forward, back right X. Alright, so that was a little bit early. A bit off, so that's not a huge deal. So like that. I was too far away. Yeah, so you want to make sure you're closer to the right side of the ottoman so that you actually get close enough to be clipped into the wall. Like that. That's perfect. Okay. And then once you're up here, you're going to head forward and then look down. You'll see kind of this little pocket right here where there's not anything in here. Hold down L2 and run straight into this space, and you'll be put right in front of the door. See, you can normally not pass through here because of the door, but that ledge fly lets us get past, okay? So again, make sure that you have your Potion of Power equipped. Don't use it quite yet. And then make sure that your Supernova Mote is selected but not equipped, okay? And also, this would be a good time to hover over... well, actually, never mind. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, so we're going to run towards this door, and then right as we're getting close to it, I activate the potion. And now with these red enemies, you want to just go for 3-hit combos while they're kind of spawning in. Try to bait out their attacks before you go for an attack, because they're really annoying. And use shield canceling liberally here. Hello? Yeah, so just bait out their attacks. That's the safest way to go. And then there's this thing. There you go. Now, immediately switch to the Nova mode, and then hover over the light mode in your select menu, and then start doing 3-hit combos. So again, I have extra healing here because I kind of cheated it in, because of the previous failed take, but just roll it. Now, as your supernova mode starts to get low, that's when you want to start swapping over to the light mode. So right about now, when it gets to like that 28. So now if you have the sun mode for whatever reason, you can use it here on these next two. So this guy's going to go down, and then the third one will spawn. Still a big brute. Depending on which one you kill first, it will, you'll have to turn to a different side, or hope you kill it. And then as soon as you kill this guy, we're going to go equip the wind mode, because these guys are weak to wind. So there's going to be one right here. And just go for 3-hit combos the best you can. These guys are annoying. Just try not to take too many hits, especially if you see them rearing up a charge attack. They will eventually corner themselves in a wall where they can't really run away. Just be patient. Yeah, so both of them are going to start going for a jog. Jump attacks can also work sometimes here for you, but your mileage may vary. Oh, yeah. And be careful when you're shield canceling not to switch into Roberta, because Roberta is generally not useful. If you start to run low on this wind mode, swap over to your regular Nova mode. There we go. So, right there. So then once this cutscene occurs, swap over to Roberta, and then you can go ahead for Roberta and equip the Nova mode on her wand. This will do a little bit of extra damage, just in case you didn't damage them to a low enough value by accident. But go ahead and with Roberta, just equip your speed potion for the next section, and then all you need to do for this next bit is just shoot at the boss until it's dead. Actually, probably better to equip your health here first. Skip this cutscene, and just go for... You don't want to go for the rapid fire, because generally that's not enough damage. Oh, I'm out of magic. Nice. Cool. Okay. So, yeah, that's why we do that strat, because those enemies can be very, very dangerous if you're not careful. Now, in this next bit... one of the 3 Faerie sisters can hit you with slowdown. I have not gotten slowdown, so that's good. But I am poisoned. So what I'm going to show you here is that if you swap back and forth between characters, you can actually dispel any negative status effect that they have. It's a really, really nice little secret that they don't tell you about. Okay, so you want to try to stay as Roberta, and go ahead and pop a speed potion. Now, this is mostly a movement section to make our way to the start of Act 4. So we're going to go up these stairs. If you have extra money, you can actually buy some extra potions of Mirka speed here. So I'll grab a couple since I wasted a bunch. But that's mostly dependent on your routing. You really don't need to worry about that all that much. Alright, so we head into the library, which is on sort of the right side of Fairyland courtyards. And... from here, take a left and go behind the bookcases to avoid the enemies, and we're going back into the Endless Staircase. So the strat for the Endless Staircase is the same as it was in Act 2. So we're going to immediately fall off the ledge, right here, and then we go to the middle here. So to the middle, you see it flip, flip, go back down the stairs. You go flip, flip, go down the stairs, and you're good to go. Okay. So now, this is pretty straightforward as we make the rest of our way down here. This is mostly just movement, so just try to pay attention to the routes that I'm taking through these doors. That's just kind of something that comes with practice. But when you get out of the doors, take a right and go down this kind of hallway here. I'm not going to re-equip a potion, just to save on some, I suppose. It doesn't really matter. And then we'll go into this next bit here. So we're going to immediately want to start holding up and to the right as we go into this cutscene. You can do the thing here with the instant text, but it really doesn't save that much time, so don't worry about it. And just stand up right next to this thing until the game tells you that you've done it properly. Go to the portal controls. Okay, just making sure. So for this, you want to hit left, left, right, I believe. Left, left, and then right. There you go. And that solves the puzzle the same way every time, and then you just run towards the portal, and then you get thrown into the next FMV. And that will take you towards Act 4, which is going to be the subject of the last video in this tutorial series. So that is the end of Part 8. Next video, we're going to be covering Altador and the final boss fight, because surprisingly enough, we can skip most of it. So it's going to end up being roughly the same length as this one. So on that note, I bid you adieu, and I will see you all in Part 9. If you have any feedback or questions, feel free to let me know and reach out. And on that note, see you in the next video. Thank you so much.